Hey, you guys, I'm Mr. Wagner, or Reagan Wagner. You guys call me Reagan. And just wanted to tell you guys first, I'm sorry for not being here. If you're watching this video, it means that I have not made it back yet from Summit Country Day, which I'm sure some of you guys have taken your students for sports way out there and down by the river. So down by the Cincinnati Country Club. So I'm trying to get back from there, but I guess I didn't get back if you guys are watching this. But I still wanted a chance to just introduce myself to you guys. I am down that way because I'm also the DC volleyball coach, and so for middle school. And my wife and I have taken that on. They said they needed some coaches, so we jumped in and decided to do that as well this year. And so we like to run around with our kids. We have 4 kids here at Dayton Christian School. My wife, her name is Heather, and we've been married for about 15 years. And then our 4 kids, we have Reese, who is in 6th grade in Miss Schindler's class. We have in 3rd grade Ty, who is in Miss Holliday's class. And then we have Tessa, who is in 2nd grade in Miss Mance's class. And then we have Presley, who is our preschooler in Miss Tesmer's class. And DC has just been a huge blessing to us. We have just so enjoyed just our last, this is now our 3rd year here, so our last 2 years, and just seems like we've had such a great start to the school year already. Just a lot of positivity that just with the new gym, and then also just really enjoying your juniors this year. I'm teaching them apologetics, and so what that means is we're trying to teach them how to defend their faith. So we're going to ask a lot of hard questions, see what they think about things. I throw my 2 cents in every once in a while, but I really like to get them talking and just try to ask good questions to get them thinking. And so you guys should be getting from me tonight, if I'm not here, somebody should be handing out to you guys an expectation sheet and also a syllabus. Our syllabus basically just shows you that our primary textbook or book for the class is going to be Reason for God. But then it also just walks you guys through the expectations. And I'm not going to read those to you, but I did want you guys to know that I walked through those with your students. And so, man, we just try to show respect in our class. We want to make sure they're obviously focusing. We focus really heavily on personal responsibility, which just means that, man, if they miss something, it's up to them to get that to me. I'm not going to chase them down, but I will be available for them to make up a test, make up a quiz, or turn in some work if they're absent or something like that. But we do really encourage them to turn things in on time, and basically tell them this: when they start getting into junior classes here, we're trying to get them ready for college. And so even in Bible class, even though we're still going to be doing prayer requests and devotionals and things like that, our number one goal is to just encourage them to practice some personal responsibility and get them ready for college and get them ready to kind of do life on their own. Your students are juniors, and so what that means to me is that they are getting ready next semester to start thinking through, if they're not already, what college they're going to be going to, what they're going to be doing after college. And I think the junior year, I know for me, was a time when I started going just from regular old high schooler, kind of running through the high school years to becoming somebody that was preparing for my future, getting ready to make big life decisions, and deciding where I was going to be going to college, where I was going to live, what my career was going to be, and just what God was leading me to do. And we want to make sure that God is a part of those decisions. And so that's what we'll talk about a little bit more next semester. But this semester we're talking about worldviews. We're asking hard questions. How do you defend your faith? How do you defend your faith against somebody who says, you know what, I don't know if I believe in God, or I don't know if that God is Jesus. What do you do, and how do you talk to them, and do you understand their perspective, and can you put yourself in their shoes so that you can answer that question in a gracious and loving way, but also in a way that stands for truth. I personally believe that Jesus said that he was full of grace and truth, and so I don't think those two things have to war against each other. I think that you can be full of grace and full of truth in every answer that you give, and that's what we're striving for. That's what we're working towards. And so encourage students as they walk through the rest of this expectation sheet to be prepared, to make sure they're bringing their stuff. And then one of the things that's really big for me also is for them to be a passionate servant of God and understand what it means to be growing towards that. We have 7 things that we'll talk about a lot in this class, which include biblical identity, faithful consistency, relational community, gracious humility, lifestyle integrity, joyful generosity, and missional unity. And for me, those words really describe what it means to be a Jesus follower, more than just going to church does, or maybe just checking some things off the list. And so So my heart is that they would learn how to really, truly follow Jesus, to grow towards that. And my heart is also just to get to know them and just be a sounding board for them as they go throughout this semester and next semester during their junior year. And so, you guys, I'm also a church planner. We started a church 4 years ago. So if you don't have a church, we would love to have you guys. We meet in the Franklin Springboro area, just right off of I-75. We started a church in our house about 4 years ago. Got to about 40 or 50 at our house, and then that grew to about 150 at Dennis Elementary School in Springboro. And then we moved into our own place, and we now have 2 services at Grace Point Fellowship every Sunday in the Franklin Springboro area, just right off the interstate there. And so we actually took an old Granger warehouse and turned it into a church. It's not that old of a building. I shouldn't say old, but it was a Granger warehouse. And what's really exciting is we're turning that building little by little into a community center, and are going to be doing just more and more in there in the days to come. And so excited to be a part of our community there. Excited. My wife grew up in Germantown, so she's excited to be back. And man, just look forward to continuing to get to know your students and hopefully get to meet you guys face to face instead of just over video here real soon. So thank you guys so much for putting up with this video tonight, and hope that you guys and your students have a great semester here at DC and a great year. So thank you guys so much for coming to my class, and you guys can go on to the next one. We'll see you later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.